What's up, everybody? I hope you have had a happy new year and that you've been enjoying this new calendar year. So today I'm going to be showing you what I made for my New Year's Eve dinner. Most of the things are vegan, but let's get into it. So right here, you can see I have my king oyster mushrooms, and so I've already washed them. So I'm going ahead and I'm just breaking them into smaller pieces because I made those before, and when I left them in the big chunks, I don't know, I'm very big on texture, so to me it just tasted better in smaller chunks. So this was just better for me. Oops, I caught it. It's okay, y'all. I'm gonna grab it. Anywho, so as you can kind of see, I'm just picking it apart. But with some of the pieces, I'm also cutting the bottom of it off because, I don't know, it just makes me feel better. Sometimes they look a little dirty and just like stuff I can't get off. So that's what I'm doing here. So you're just going to see me continue to break it into smaller pieces until I fill up that bag. And then we're going to get into what I'm going to do next with that bag, okay? Okay, so now I have my jerk marinade. I just got this from Pete's Fresh Produce. I know that's not everywhere, but if you have a grocery store with a Caribbean aisle or that has a nice, Caribbean selection of seasonings, you can usually find this. I never have a hard time finding it. So right here, you just see me open it up, and I'm gonna pour it into this bag. Okay, now I was really experimenting, y'all, because I wanted to do like jerk fried mushrooms. Haters was hating on me. My mom was telling me I couldn't do it, but I knew I could. So here you see me closing it up, and I'm just gonna shake it. Okay, we want to really get those seasonings in. And after I finish doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave this in the fridge. I think I left it in the fridge for about 2 hours, letting it sit and letting them flavors get into it. Okay, let's really get them flavors. Y'all see that? It's good. I know y'all like seeing my face. Boom. Okay, so now I got it out the fridge. It's been marinating. And so you see I'm just pouring my mushrooms into the strainer. You really don't need this type of strainer. It can be any type of strainer. And so I put it in here to kind of let them extra juices kind of drain off of them. And I left it there for a while, y'all, because mushrooms absorb a lot of water. And because I'm frying it, I kind of want it to be I want to get some of them extra liquids out. So that's what I'm doing. So right now you see me kind of separating them and moving them apart so they're not sitting on top of each other, so they can kind of have their own space to kind of drain. Now look, I know it ain't looking like a hit right now, okay, but it's gonna be a #1 record. Just stick with me, okay? Stick beside me. The vision is coming to life. So as you see, I'm just gonna keep doing that, and after that we're gonna get our batter together. Let's get into that now. Okay, so right here we got our grapeseed oil, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne, parsley flakes, and baking soda. Also, this is some unbleached flour right here. So I thought I was showing y'all the measurements of each of these, but I wasn't. But also, I don't do measurements. I go by the soul, baby. So you're gonna have to get in tune with your soul. I'm just playing. I actually really don't do measurements, but if you're a measurement girl or guy or they, them, do what you please. Do what you need to do. So right here in these 2 bowls, one of these is our wet mix, and one of these is gonna be our dry mix. I'm doing this with my sister. This kind of makes things fun when you're cooking with kids. So the red top, which is her bowl, is going to be our dry mix. My bowl is the wet mix. This is what we're going to put all our flavor at, okay? Because this is where we're going to coat the mushrooms first. The dry one is going to be what we put on after the wet batter, okay? So I'm putting a lot of like that salt and stuff. All of that is going in that wet batter. I don't think I even put some of them seasonings in hers, in that dry batter, because you don't want to overdo it. Remember, we already jerked the mushrooms, okay? So this is just, gonna be the crunch, okay? But we do want a little flavor with our crunch, okay? So, yes, that's what's going on here. Put a little baking soda only in that dry mix, okay? Not in your wet mix. The baking soda is gonna give you that razzle dazzle that you need to get that crunch, okay? So now I have my wet mix bowl, and I'm just pouring some filtered water from my fridge into it because I like filtered water. I like spring water, but this is what I got. So not using it out of the picture, but I'm just gonna pour some of that water in there until I get it to the consistency that I want it to. Emphasis on add a little bit of water at a time, okay, until you get it to that consistency that you want it. I like mine to be a little, not as thick as pancake mix, but you also don't want it to be too thin and watery. You know what I'm saying? Because you want it to be able to coat the mushrooms. This is how we're going to make sure that even though we marinated the mushrooms, it's going to be able to fry, okay? So you see, I'm just continuing to add a little bit of water at a time and just stirring it up. Now see, this is the consistency you want it to be. No chunks or nothing, but yeah, that's how you want it. Keep stirring it. So now I have my grapeseed oil, pouring that into my skillet. We're going to let that get a little hot. And now we have our wet mix, our dry mix. And so you're going to put it, wet mix, dry mix, boom, fry. That's how it's looking. I'm going to show y'all the finished product. Look at that. Delicious. Delicious. Now, after you chopped up your cabbage, real good, however you like to chop up your cabbage, go ahead and fill up your sink. Well, first of all, wash your sink out. Fill up your sink with some room temperature water, a little on the colder side, and some vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Then I put my cabbage into a strainer, and I kind of just do this method where I lift it in and out of the water to strain it, to clean it. I think I did that about four or five times. So yeah, now I got my cabbage in a pot. I got some minced garlic in there, and so now I'm taking a scoop of like this liquidy vegetable bouillon for some of that extra flavor. What I didn't get, but what I did add, is some not chicken bouillon cubes to this. I didn't get footage of it, but it is a such thing. Mine's, the one I use, is literally called not chicken bouillon cubes. It's really good for this, just to give it that extra flavor that you want to take it up to the, the next level. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you can get that. Like I said, it's other brands of that as well. Now I got my vegetable broth. Y'all pray for me because I don't know what I was doing with that spoon at first. I was like, okay, this is a game. Let me go in here and pour this in there. So pour that in there, and so I'm just kind of mixing it up so I can get some of that flavor through there, so it can really, just get through your cabbage, treat it with some love. I don't know what I was doing with this little bitty spoon too. It's okay though. That's okay. That's my business, like my girl Tabitha would say. Now I got my garlic powder. I put garlic powder in everything, so just at this point assume garlic powder is going in it. So I'm just sprinkling that in there. After that, I'm gonna grab my onion powder and I'm gonna sprinkle that in as well. Goes in everything. Garlic and onion powder, it gives it that level it needs. So now I got my cayenne pepper, sprinkling that in there. Don't do too much because you don't want to go overboard. So I'm just going ahead. My shaker wasn't letting any out, so that's what was happening with that. Now I added some vegan butter. Now I chopped up some onion, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. I think it was one yellow onion. So this is the finished product of my cabbage. I went ahead and put this on the stove. I got a lid to my pot and I just steamed it. I didn't want it to cook too much, so I put it on low. Cabbage cooks really fast. And it just depends on what you're going for. I like a little firmness to mine.
What did the fish say to the other fish?
What?
Cock-a-lock-a-lock, bok, bok, bok.
Now that I provided y'all with a nice little laugh for your day, I'm gonna grab you some potatoes. I think these are called, I'm not gonna even tell you, yellow potatoes, maybe. But I'm cutting them in half, and then I'm gonna go ahead and lay the potato flat and kind of cut it. I guess that would be like a finger length apart. And then I'm gonna drop them into my bowl. And then after that, we're gonna season them. So I'm just gonna finish chopping up these potatoes. So now I got my oil. I'm putting that on there. And then after that, I'm gonna grab some Himalayan salt. Just gonna sprinkle that on there a little bit. Go ahead and grab your black pepper. Sprinkle a little bit of that onto your potatoes. Onion powder, of course. What would the party be without her? Go ahead and grab your garlic powder. Sprinkle a little bit of that on there. And then afterwards, I did go ahead and rub that in, but I also did put some garlic and herb seasoning on there. This is how your potatoes should look once they're fully coated. Now that they're done, you're gonna grab you some aluminum foil, put that on top, put your oven on 350, and leave it in there for about an hour and a half, and they should be perfect afterwards. This is the food once it's done. I have some extra stuff on there. This is my fried mushrooms, and it was amazing, y'all. It was so good.
She was so sublime, super fine. She was never lying, strutting in the hills or her slides. Either way, eyes on her every single day, week, year. Everyone wondering how she does it with no fear. All that confidence, was it heaven sent? Does it come within? Does it come run out? I don't know. She'll just have them running out and in.